Hey, what's up? This is Spider-Prime1 back again with another Transformers video review. You may have noticed the terrain has changed just a little bit. I've been playing the Marvel version of Heroescape, and I didn't feel like ripping up the board just so I could do a review, so I decided to use the terrain for the review. And as you can see, I'm doing two figures for this one video. Seeing as how my YouTube account, I can now do videos up to 15 minutes long. That's probably how long it's going to take to do the two of these guys. These are the two Conehead Seekers that I have. Generations Thrust and Dirge. I don't have Classics Ramjet. I'm trying to find a really cheap one on eBay or BigBadToyStore.com. But as of yet, I have gotten no results yet. So I'm still on the lookout. But anyways, these two are, to me, they're some of the weirdest looking jets I've ever seen. Thrust here has what are these? I don't know the technical term of them, but they're kind of like hover jets. And they allow this plane for a vertical takeoff, and then he can shoot forward instead of having to take off like a regular jet, which is really cool, and it's a throwback to the original character. The Henkei version of Thrust that came out a long time ago before this one did actually had these pieces set into the wing. This one, however, they're removable pieces. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I like this figure, is because he's got basically two holes up here for these, the holes for the blasters, and he's got two holes back here in the tail fins. So he has 6 different ports, I guess you could call them, so that you can customize this figure any way you want. Or you could take the blasters from another figure and stick them back here so he has twice the firepower, which is a really cool thing. You could even take these off and put another set of blasters on there, and then he'd just be loaded. So yeah, that's Thrust. Dirge, I would have no idea how this guy would get off the ground, because he doesn't have the little vertical takeoffs, and he has no tail rudders either, like Starscream, Thundercracker, Skywarp, Acid Storm, all the regular F-15 jets. He doesn't have these pieces. So I don't know how he would stay stable other than just relying on these pieces. I don't know, I've just never seen a plane like this before. But it's still a very good figure nonetheless. These two are some of my favorite appearance-wise. So transformation, they're exactly the same, just with different variations on the Seeker mold, which means to say that they transform the exact same way, just the wings are in different positions. And if you can't see this, I'm sorry, I'm doing this video sideways. And it's the first time doing this in a long time since I started, so if you can't see me, I apologize. Let's do this guy real quick. One thing you have to do with the cone heads is you have to turn their head before you collapse the chest back in. Otherwise, you can't turn their head. And then you have to pop it back open, flip the head around, flip it back up, and it's just time wasting. Okay, so there's Dirge in all his cone-headed glory. He looks very, very good. I love the black and blue. The gold's alright. I mean, it goes for the color scheme, but I just like the black and blue the best. Do Thrust here real quick, off screen. Try to do this real quick. And Dirge, I think, is one of the better out of all the Seekers, just for the simple fact of, with his weird wing placements, the bulk of his wings are on his legs, not behind the shoulders. So therefore, when you want to position his arms forward, like when he's like shooting at something directly in front of him, he doesn't get hindered by the wings. He can move his arms freely, and there's nothing in the way. Thrust, on the other hand, has even more of a resistance because of the air vents, the vertical takeoffs. They create even more of a hindrance because they stick out further than the wing does. Now, of course, you can take these off, stick them on the bottom of the leg, like he did, like the G1 character. But even then, the G1 character, the wings were down here and not off his shoulders, kind of like his. But these are very good Seekers, very good figures just in general. These are both ones I would highly recommend if you can't find Starscream, Acid Storm, Skywarp, Ramjet. There is a Thundercracker coming out really soon, and I'm looking forward to getting him. And then the only ones I'll need are Skywarp and Ramjet, but Skywarp is freaking expensive, and Ramjet's just hard to come by. But hopefully one day I will have all the Seekers in the Generation line, which is as close to G1 as I'm going to get with those guys. But yeah, and I like the metallic painting on Thrust. You can't really see it in this camera because this camera sucks. There you go, sort of, yeah, right there. Another thing I like on Thrust is the little molded in cockpit piece on this one. You can see it. It's chrome instead of just plastic behind the screen. So they went all out on appearance for Thrust, and then Dirge is just Dirge. He's cool. He's got a see-through chest instead of like the orangey color like all the other ones, and then he's got black plastic for the cockpit piece. So yeah, those are two very, very good figures. Highly recommended. You can still find Dirge if you're lucky. I've seen him in like Toys R Us. Thrust is gone from the stores from what I've seen. I've only caught him once at a Walmart. And then I went back like a couple days later and he was gone. So, but Big Bad Toy Store, eBay, TF Source, whatever site you usually go to for these guys, that's where you're gonna find these the most. So yeah, I'm Spider Prime 1. I'll be back with another review soon. Finally getting back into doing these things. But until then, I am signing off.